Rest in peace, Cassie in OB62. Your dodge rolls and infinite dodge rolls will be sorely missed, at least by me. It was one of my favourite characters and one of my favourite playstyles in the game. I think the thing is, movement is very fun and also adds an element of skill to the game in more of map knowledge, knowing where to dodge into, where to dip around, and also sort of the movement as well, the dodging, the juking, the idea of counterplay. I think has been watered down a bit this patch, but I do understand why Cassie was singled out, as her mobility was hypermobility in the strongest sense, because you could literally infinitely dodge roll if you hit all of your shots. So in some good hands, it was pretty insane. And today what we're going to be doing is we're not looking at the old dodge roll. It's been pretty much nerfed because it's gone from being able to reduce it by 4 seconds to 2 seconds instead, which means that you can't insta-roll at all, even with Chronos. So we're checking out the Impulse legendary card here, which gives you, now, this patch buffed up, an extra 50 damage on top of what it did before. So it's actually an 800 damage little boost of blast damage to an enemy that you didn't have before. So it's a nice little burst, but also it's AoE. So you can hit several enemies if we're all together. Although, it does have a relatively long base cooldown of 10 seconds, but you can reduce it down. And with cards as well, as one where every enemy hit, reduce it by 2 seconds, but actually you can reduce the disengage quite far, and you can reduce that to 4 seconds if you hit somebody in the air after you've disengaged them. Something you're going to notice of me jumping around in this game is that because I can't have my dodge roll infinitely, I mean, dodge roll is still on a 5-second cooldown. As escape abilities go in the game, it's not that long of an escape, like a wait. So what you see me doing though is trying to dodge around by jumping and then shooting as I hit the ground, which is trying to juke the enemies a bit. I don't know whether that's actually a valid tactic, but it was what we tried out in this game. It kind of worked, but the public test server matches are always slightly derpy, and I think this one may be a bit of an example as well. Didn't really get much heals because it's the Grok, and it was hard for me to get into where the Grok's healing circle is, especially now because you can't flex as much with Cassie. Before, you were able to get into the enemy backlines and out again pretty safely, and you were able to sort of fulfill both roles of being a kind of long-range damage dealer and also getting right into people's faces, like the Pumpkin just overextended there. But now I feel that it's kind of harder to do that. You feel a bit more like a Leander's, like you sometimes feel a bit awkward if you get too far in, but you've just got to hope that your damage output is there. I mean, I find it less fun. I find myself in more situations like, oh, I think I actually overextend quite often because of what the old Cassie was like. I'm not getting quite used to it. I mean, this game does end pretty well for us after. I think the start was actually worse, just getting used to the Cassie again, because when I played Cassie before, it was literally just dodge roll, dodge roll. In ranked games, it's kind of carried me through, I'm not going to lie, my placements and everything. People did struggle to deal with it quite a bit. I think that's what hi-rez were looking at, mainly. Like there, though, I dodge roll forward, but that was kind of instinctual, because before, you dodge roll forward for the extra damage. I wasn't going to get any there, and it wasn't going to reset, so there was no point in doing it. Little things like that you pick up on, but you can see that I did 800 damage just from the blast shot, and it was so easy to land. So I think this is probably going to be the most popular card that's going to come out in this patch, just because it's so much easier. And if you watch in the match as well, like, it's a finisher sometimes. That went okay. I mean, knocking people into the air and hitting them always feels cool. It's kind of a shame that the extra damage is locked to the disengage now. The disengage legendary card, big game hunter. But that's where we're at. So try to deal with the Bomb King. I mean, the big thing about the Flash Shot is obviously getting fire around corners and things. It's kind of got a bit more juke to it. Although, I'm not going to lie, I'm not exactly the best at hitting it off. Sometimes missing it. That was just a terrible shot. Should have definitely hit the Fernando down the second shot. The Androxus ultied far too low down and right in his faces. I was ready for that. I mean, the other good thing about the Flash Shot is it reduces healing a little bit, 50%, so that's always nice too, an inbuilt cauterize. So I don't know what, I think there I was just like, let's just jump into that Bomb King ultimate, why not? Kind of funny. We sacrificed ourselves for our friends. I mean, everyone else seemed to have survived, so it actually went okay. But definitely, you do feel a bit more static as Cassie. And I just feel that it's hard to separate her from, why would you pick her over a Bomb King or a Charlene? because she's not the sort of mixed role she was before, where she could take potentially some of the pressure off of the flanker getting into the back lines, but also could do pretty well in the back lines too. I mean, I think that, like there, what was going on, everyone just sort of went off the point. They were like, don't even need to contest that. Why would you? Don't need to do that. But anyway, Cauterize, I mean, like, I got a little bit of Chronos, but mainly for the blast shot. And the new Grox behind us going wee. Also, I'd completely ignore this loadout currently. The only ones that are interesting are the blast shot healing you and the blast shot cooldown when you hit people. I still think the dodge roll card where you get to 15-30% health, etc., is quite useful, just because it can save you in a sticky situation. I was considering maybe actually Incitement slightly, but I mean, getting low levels of that card are pretty useless. So, and you're often at 30% of your health. I think actually the 15% probably wasn't worth it as much. But most of the game, you might be that one hit away, and that might be about 30% of your health, which could give you that extra dodge roll when you need it. So, that Adroxus, send him straight away. If you hadn't have been reversaling there, he would have survived after he got knocked back. That was just really, really unfortunate. He was sent back to the nether. I mean, his nether steps have also been nerfed. Another, I don't feel that necessary nerf in the grand scheme of things. I mean, his damage has been a bit ridiculous this patch, but his movement, okay, now I'm going to get killed by this Androxus. Nope, Truck Tester, I'm out of here. All I can do is I can jump around, I can't dodge roll anymore. I mean, I don't have any lifesteal. There's a lifesteal card where you get lifesteal after you dodge roll shot, which actually was a big part of the dodge roll casting as well, because you were able to constantly keep getting your health back after each shot, which helped a bit. I mean, that could have been one of the cards that they nerfed to maybe try and fix out the dodge roll cassie. Like there, me coming off of my mount, doing the dodge roll is just, again, like me instinctively doing the dodge roll for Cassie. Like, I might even dodge roll here when I might not need to. Okay, I did probably actually need to get in there because I saw that he was low and our Androxus was low. But sometimes trying to close the gap when I might not need to as much, because I do feel though that Cassie shots aren't that hard to hit, but they are sort of harder to hit if you're really close to somebody, and also quite difficult to hit if you're quite far away from people. You're not like a Charlene, you can't really snipe as well. You've not got these big powerful shots that have quite a travel. But, I mean, she's still decent, and I'm doing well this match. But again, it's PTS rules, so I don't know why this Pip completely ignored me. She's like, nope, I heathen. Like, no, I don't need to deal with that. And me just derping around, missing every shot. I'm trying to shoot when I land. So actually that kind of worked there, the gimmick. So I jump, then shoot when I land. Because there is a delay between each of your shots on Cassie. Quite a few of the champions actually have this delay. Bomb King also has a delay, which is why people sometimes ask, why are you detonating a lot of your bombs? Like, if you're fighting somebody 1v1, sometimes it can work out. If you're actually getting them in the right distance. Sometimes it doesn't work as well, and sometimes it puts you off, but... And again, Androxus is ulting us. I probably should have hit that second shot. I mean, I did feed the reversal there, but I just mistimed it. I thought he was going to be out of it. So the second shot did kill him. I just slightly mistimed that. And I can hear the Pip next to me. So I'm going to go for that. Target locked. Just for the Pip. I mean, with 3-0, so I'm like, yeah, let's do it. 48 seconds, so I know I can get quite a bit of the ult back, maybe. So you know, blast shot can be a quite easy finisher as well if you're struggling to hit somebody. That's why it's kind of not a crutch, but I mean, like there, the Cassie was low. I was like, I'm not going to shoot at her. May as well blast shot her. And it's on a pretty low cooldown as well, so got it back again. Ready to blast shot somebody back. I mean, it's harder to hit at range, but mid-range, it's okay. And we're going to fish it out. We're going to fish it out. And just hitting the Fernando there. I'm being completely ignored again, so I'm happy with that. GG. GG. That's the new Cassie. Not changed that much. Again, I struggled a bit in the PTS to play the Big Game Hunter Legendary card, just because nobody's really picking tanks. Or not that often. Actually, this game was kind of odd in the fact that both teams had a tank. A lot of the games we had like several flankers and just one healer. Or like damage dealers in a full team. So you get less value out of it, but you still, I mean, it's 10% now, so you're still getting like 200 damage off of lots of the squishier champions, each of the shots. So that's quite powerful. I mean, in the stretch of things, like over the period of the match, it's probably going to be more useful. And honestly, like they doubled that effectiveness. So we did okay here. 21 kills. I mean, I'm happy with that. But again, PTS derpiness. But what does everybody else feel about CASSIE? What side of the fence were you on when you were thinking about the dodge roll, the resets, the lifesteal? Personally, I do wonder whether they could have tweaked it a bit, got rid of the lifesteal after rolling. They could have made it so that the damage, get rid of the damage from the actual legendary card, maybe make the incitement instead a legendary card itself, and made that 4 seconds on a cooldown. So you had the infinite rolls, but you didn't have the damage. Because in some ways, that incitement card was ridiculous and kind of bred a whole new gameplay to the CASSIE, which had its own sort of style in the match, which I feel kind of was decent. I don't think that CASSIE was at a point where she was the very best champion in the game. She often was good, and people found her hard to go against, but they could have tweaked other places and kept the playstyle there, whereas I think that Blast Shot, they're just like extra damage on 2 of the abilities, and it's kind of plain. And now the dodge roll legendary card is kind of useless because you're just not going to get the value out of it. What does everybody think? Sure, let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more of my content, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Joshino.